So it happened again. I've just bought myself another 5090 for these AI GPU rentals, and I'm kind of stuck as to what I want to do with it. So today, guys, I'm gonna need your help. I need you to help me decide which platform we should put this on, either Salad, OctaSpace, or if we should do something completely different, maybe build a monster 2-card 5090 rig or try a different platform. Let's go through all the options and let me know what you guys think is the best option out of all of these. So let's get into it. All right, there she is. The Asus Tough Gaming 5090 in action, spinning away. So that one, I obviously haven't showed you the build of that. You've seen 1,000 build videos before of all this different stuff in here, and I wasn't going to put you through another one, so you can thank me later for that. But we've done a bit of switching around. If you've been following the channel, you would know that this was my first 5090. Now this is on Salad. I've gone with Salad just to get that PayPal payout on this one, and originally this 5090 was on this board. So this is my my best motherboard CPU combo. This is a 7950X with 64 gigabytes of RAM. The RAM's been overclocked up to 6,000 megahertz to really, make sure I can utilize this on OctaSpace, which is what it's currently on. But for how long? Good question. So we put the new one on OctaSpace for now on this 7950X rig, and we moved this 5090, which is on a 5900X, because the rental, the rentals on Salad, from what I've learned and what I've been told, aren't affected by the CPU. So that's what this is doing now, but I've got a few different options for what I want to do with this one. And we'll talk more in detail about this in a minute when we get out of here on the computer. Does it stay on OctaSpace? Does it go to Salad? Or do we put both of these 5090s on a new motherboard and CPU, buy something else like a Threadripper, maybe, I don't know about that, they're super overpriced, or maybe an Epic board, or just another motherboard with 2 x16 lanes. We'll figure it out. We'll jump on over to the computer in a minute, but while we're in here, let me give you a little quick update on some other stuff I've done. So this is a Minus Forum board with that 7945HX, and originally it had my 4070 on it, which is now 4060 Ti, which is up here. But I figured the 5070 Ti, better card, it should be on the better board, so this is another 5900X rig. But when I swapped these two over, because this has the 3 PCIe slots, I thought, why not move this power supply over as well? So this is my Seasonic 1300 watt. I decided to move that over, but it came with one of these external SSDs. So I pulled out a cable, which is what I thought was for this power supply. It turns out it wasn't. So example number 1, you'll notice some black stuff on there. Example number 2, you'll notice some melty on there, and yeah, not good. So basically I plugged it in, it was the wrong cable. You might, if the camera focuses, and it basically just melted itself. So yeah, that was a good catch. So I put another, you can't really see it in there, I put another M.2 in, a 1 terabyte one, to get that one going. So power supply is still alright. Let me know in the comments if the cable coming out of this melted at this end. Do I need to worry about that? Is this something that's going to burn up the house later? Please let me know down in the comments. But more importantly, let's get back to these 5090s. They're both online right now. Let's jump on the computer and let's talk about a few potential options as to what to do with not only this new one, but maybe both of them together. Let's go. So option number 1 is pretty self-explanatory. You guys have seen my Salad videos. We've spoken about that new host that's renting these out for 3 months at a time. But I wanted to start with here and see, what you guys think. And bear in mind, Look, ROI is important, but I'm not necessarily doing this to make my money back the fastest. You know, I believe in the quality of the 5090 hardware, so if I ever needed to, God forbid, I could sell these back. I'm really not worried about making my money back in X amount of days, so take that into consideration. But what I do like about Salad is, of course, the PayPal payouts and the current consistency it offers. So, you know, we've had this one going for how long? You know, about half a month or so now, and it's doing pretty well. You know, recently we've had a bit of an uptick, anywhere from $4 to sort of $6 a day. Seems to be closer to the $6 range recently, which is interesting because as you saw previously, I switched this over to my 5900X. And now all of a sudden it's making more money than on a 7950X. Someone, you know, riddle me that, explain that to me. I'm wondering if it has anything to do with the demand. No, it can't be demand. The demand has gone down, it seems. And I think I did see a post from Salad actually discussing that. So I'm not sure what's going on, but one thing's for sure is we will take it. Now, I did lose all my power overnight. So we'll talk about that with option number 2. So we are losing, you know, half a cent an hour on this current job. I may have previously been locked in at a different rate before that demand went down. So it's diminished ever so slightly, but look, still, you know, the rig's pulling about 500 watts. It's costing about $2 in electricity, making about $4. So, you know, a pretty good option there. That would be option number 1. And actually also let me know, would putting 2 cards on the same rig do anything for this? Would it double my earnings? I'm a bit of a, well, I'm new to Salad. I'm not new to it. I was on it probably a good year ago, but I didn't like it, but now I do. So let me know your thoughts on that. Option number 1 is the stable earnings of Salad, you know, a good way to go. Now, option number 2, Old Faithful, if you guys watch my channel, which I'm sure you all watch every video start to finish, of course, is OctaSpace, right? So, you know, we've been on OctaSpace for months now, and it's been going really, really well, but unfortunately, last night, we're having storm season over here in the east coast of Australia, and all of my rigs went offline. They were all currently rented, and then at maybe about 2 a.m. or something like that, this happened right here. The node went down or rebooted, so we lost that rental. It was chunking away. I just put this rig back online, and it instantly picked up a job, going for about 2.5 days, and then offline it went. We picked up another one straight after, which was pretty nice, but only for 4 hours. And since then, it's only been render jobs. So this, I guess, is one of the cons of OctaSpace, is that, you know, as opposed to Salad, where there's a host saying, hey, I need 1,000 5090s, this is sort of more individually done. You know, you have people putting their rigs up and individual people just buying them. And my 5090 was online for ages, that node, and after that power cut out, look what it does to me. 99.2% stability, so you have 131 successful rentals and then 1 bad rental, and look how far it drops you down the page here. You see that all right? Yeah, so, you know, you've got to scroll like 2 or 3 times down. And for some reason, my internet speed is wrong, but yeah, that'll, I'm sure, adjust itself. So, look, I'm in 2 minds with a couple of my other rigs. The 3090s had just gone online. I'd moved a bit of stuff around there, so I reset them. I reset the 5070 Ti, as you know, before, and nearly burnt my whole house down. But you know, we survived that one. So I may restart this one, or I may just leave it. If I don't get any more rentals within, you know, a day or so, and they're just renders, I'll probably just restart it, because it seems like these ones up the top, the brand new ones, you know, 19 rentals with only sort of a 10-day uptime, seem to do pretty well. So we could put it back on OctaSpace, or do we build a 2-card 5090 rig? Look, it's a lot of work, but it is something interesting, and I will have to spend more money, which we'll talk about in a sec. You're not really charging too much more unless you've got these sort of crazy specs with these, you know, 7980Xs, which are thousands of dollars, by the way. This thing's got nearly 400 gigabytes of RAM. So it would be hard to compete, but I mean, if I dropped my prices down, you know, I'd be looking at something like this, you know, pretty much making the same as I would if I just, you know, put it on the 7950X rig and then just chuck the 2 cards on it, went away with it. But one of the things I'm unsure about, and this is kind of where I need your assistance, is the PCIe generation. So Obviously with the motherboard I've currently got, it doesn't support 2 full speed X16 lanes. So that will bring us to our third option of the upgrade. So we could start with, I guess, the budget option, but I mean, look, nothing Gen 5 is budget when it comes to motherboard. Just get something like this, the X870E motherboard. The issue with this, and like I said, I want your input, this will only support 2 X8 lanes. Now it is wide enough to put both the 5090s on it, just not a lot of breathing room on there, but it will only support the 2 X8 lanes. Now, how is this going to impact rentals? I don't know. So I definitely need your input on something like that. We could then step it up a little bit and go something like this one, the TRX 50. Now, I'm not sure if this supports 2 X8 lanes. Does it even say down here? Maybe somewhere in the specs. I think it supports 2 X8 or maybe even 2 X16. I'll have to have a little bit more a look on that. I could see it before, but it's sort of escaped me now. But you know, that's $1,500 right there, and I'm not even sure if I could put my 7950X on it. But it was recommended to me as a good board, so I might need to, you know, figure out whether that's a better option. Well, the last option for the 2 GPUs would be, you know, something like this one right here. Can you see that? You know, get one of these Epic boards. You know, so the advantage of this is that it has, this one's got 2 or 3, I think, full size X16 lanes, and they're all supported by the CPU. So I will be able to run these at full speed. And you know, this thing's got like, how many cores does it have in here? 128 cores, 256 threads. So this would put me sort of back up in that sort of Threadripper spec range, I guess, which might be a good option to go with. So as far as which option to pick, I'm kind of stuck, right? You know, I know Salad, I know OctaSpace, I know they'll give me sort of steady earnings and income over time. But like I said, this isn't necessarily about how do I make my money back faster. I'm doing this because I enjoy it, right? I'm in a position where I can afford to do it. I enjoy making content for you guys, engaging with you guys, and learning a little bit more. So that's kind of why I'm leaning towards the sort of 2 GPU setup, you know. But is that just a standard high-end motherboard like the TRX 50, or do we, you know, jump into the Threadripper world? Do we jump into the Epic world? It's a lot to learn for me. I haven't jumped into this Epic world. I've known about them for years, but I've never done it. I'm told it's simple. So let me know what you guys think. You know, option 1, Salad. Option 2, OctaSpace. And by the way, do we restart that node? I'm kind of undecided on that. I probably will if I don't get a rental. Or option 3, you know, the sort of really high-end spec 2 GPUs on a, you know, Threadripper or Epic board. Let me know your comments, guys, down in the description. As always, thanks for watching. Join the Discord. Please hit that like button if you liked the video. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. Do what you want, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Attention, crypto miners. Are you ready to level up your mining game? Then look no further than CryptoMinerBros.com, your go-to source for top-of-the-line mining equipment. CryptoMinerBros stock the latest ASIC miners and partner with the most trusted brands like Bitmain, Goldshell, Jazzminer, and IceRiver, just to name a few. Plus, with manufacturers' warranties of 6 to 12 months, worldwide shipping, and 24/7 customer support, you're fully covered no matter where you are. And don't forget, you can use code BearMarketMiner at checkout or click the link in description to save $70 on all products store-wide. Visit CryptoMinerBros.com today and start mining smarter.